All right, are we live? Hold up. Shit. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. Yep, we are live. Let me just wait for some people to get in here. Excuse me. Alright, stream has been promoted. Now we wait. Excellent night at the gym. So I figured there's an emergency meeting and they talk about some interesting shit about the whole Daz Black situation. Why the fuck am I talking? No one's even in here yet. Funky. So we got this emergency meeting right here. They talk about the Daz Black situation. But also, they also talk a little bit about Ethan Klein, about how his dick doesn't work. So, do you want to just hear what they have to say about Daz Black? Or do you want to hear about how Ethan Klein's dick doesn't work as well? Give me some feedback, dog. What's the mood? How are we feeling? I see you in there. Both? Bet. Alright. Thank you for the suggestion, Mr. Fawcett. I'm gonna start right here. Oh, and his dad too. That's interesting.
Sex with them. They have sexual freedom, which I think too. You can't get mad that they don't go home with you. It's like being a car salesman selling broken down, ugly ass cars with no engine that won't move, saying, "Well, why is everyone buying Ferraris?" You a good to go home investment. These guys, please.
You need antidepressants to live.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry. I wish it had like a little fucking the thing that YouTube has where you can see the window.
Ethan's been on a mission to try and cancel us, and what's happened is there's some very astute investigators who've been digging into his life, and they've been emailing me saying, "Hey, I got dirt on Ethan," and I'm like, I don't really give a shit. He talks about me. I don't really have to do reply videos. I don't care. But they've sent us so much stuff, and then it's just, it's kind of good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's just when you take into account that he's our age, that he fights for censorship. It just makes these things very, very funny. Like you said, this is a chance to show that the people that you listen to.
This shit is pretty funny. Do you remember when Ethan Klein used to be like funny and entertaining? And he actually made good videos, and now he's just this fucking sad sack of shit with a dick that doesn't work and a wife that doesn't fuck him. That's terrible.
And the people that you watch for entertainment are hypocrites, and they are liars, and they are mouthpieces for the machine. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with him?
Well, I got this one. I'm talking about is how his dick doesn't work.
Oh, this is okay.
I have depression. I'm medicated for that shit. 20 milligrams Lexapro every fucking day.
That shit is quite He's talking about how he's medicated, antidepressants.
My dick feels like a piece of wood.
My dick feels like a piece of wood. I have no sensation in my penis.
Side effect. And I'm fat, by the way. Also a side effect.
And he said being fat, that he said that's a side effect of the antidepressants, and he said that being fat is also a side effect of the antidepressants. As he's drinking a soda, which I find kind of funny.
So this video is quite old. He would have been about my age when he said this. Now, what I really like is, yeah, you know, my penis doesn't work. I have no sensation in my penis. It's the antidepressants that are doing this. They're also making me fat. Big sip from a can of soda. Yeah, it's the antidepressants, mate. They're high in calorie, are they? Or like seriously? Now, but that explains a lot about him. You have to understand that a man whose penis does not work is the type of man to talk badly about men like me and you. When the other fat guy, who we are going to get to, was complaining that women don't like him and women don't go home with him. Let me tell you something, Ethan Klein and Daz Black. You have to understand that not only are we nice, not only are we charming, not only do women like our company in every single way, plus we're not fat sacks of shit. If you have any respect for women and their freedom of sexual choice, which I genuinely do, you have to understand that women choosing a man after a night out to go home with, they want to enjoy the sexual experience.
People want me to play it again because they said about the sound. You're right. But that's a really
They want to
important-
enjoy the
sound.
sexual experience.
Let's listen to him again talk about how his dick was.
I have depression.
I already repeated everything he said.
To understand
Word for
the
word.
fact that, let's pretend in your universe that your reality is true. Let's pretend that women will always go home with a guy who's ugly, who's an ugly person on the inside, who's rude, who's mean, who's cruel, but they don't choose you because you're fat and overweight. That who cares? Who cares? The sexual experience they will get from going home with you is nothing. It's zero. I mean, I've got friends who are sexual experts and talk about this stuff. It's not really my it's not something I preach about on my platform, but the basis of sexual performance is not collapsing and sweating and dying after 2 minutes of light cardio. That's just the basis of it.
Imagine 2 minutes. Hold on, let me fix this so you can see better. Imagine 2 minutes being it. Could not be me.
So if you actually have any respect for women and think their sexual choices are down to them and they can decide who they have sex with and they have sexual freedom, which I think too, you can't get mad that they don't go home with you. It's like being a car salesman selling broken down, ugly ass cars with no engine that won't move, saying, well, why is everyone buying Ferraris? You are stupid, literally intellectually stupid, if you don't understand why women don't want to sleep with you. And do you think Daz Black is going to be a good sexual performer? Do you believe he's going to give a woman because it's a big
13-year-olds believe that.
decision for a woman. They're letting someone inside of their body. They're being intimate with someone who perhaps they don't know
A lot
very
of
well. When they
time.
decide to go home with somebody, that's
Hey, you're right. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think 2 minutes may be too much time. I think you might need to chill out after 2 whole minutes. Fuck.
a big decision.
Fuck.
Do you think that they want 45 seconds of very, very light tickling sensation followed by you collapsing and crying for their investment of upping their body count? They don't. And that's what you people need to understand. This is why women don't choose you on the base level. This is base level shit. I'm surprised these guys don't get it.
Wait. The guy who's trying to say I'm a bad person all day, every day, and trying
Yeah.
to insult me, his dick doesn't work.
Yeah, his dick doesn't work.
He's my age.
Yeah, he's your age.
He's on antidepressants.
Yep.
And his dick doesn't work.
And he's grossly overweight, even with a dick that worked. I mean, how long is that guy going for?
You know the thing about the antidepressant thing?
Please tell me.
It's interesting to me.
Antidepressants fucking rot your brain. If you're on antidepressants, get off that shit and go to the gym.
If you need no, but it is.
Super chat. Same Ethan Klein who said women should be conquered.
Conquer with what?
Yeah, exactly. People should know when they're conquered.
Yeah, but what's amazing to me is this.
Go on.
If you need pills, if you need antidepressants to live your life, because your worldview has managed to construct a life which is so miserable and depressing that you need pills to even keep yourself functioning, why do you think anybody is going to respect your opinion on the world? Because nobody wants to think like you, because if they thought like you, they'd end up like you. You don't respect the thinking of people who are sad, because people who are sad are not to be emulated. Why would you want to think like a sad person? Why would you want to agree with a person who needs pills to function? The fact he just said, I'm on antidepressants, that invalidates your entire worldview, friend. Because I'm not. We're the same age. My dick works and I'm not on antidepressants. Not a single soul, including every single person who watches your videos, not a single soul, if God were to come down and give them the choice, whether they could be transported into my body or yours, not a single one would choose to be you.
And
not
also-
one. You lose the game of life.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. The dude's dick doesn't work, and he needs pills to function. Like this is such easy shooting fish in a barrel. I don't know what to say about it.
The guy's got 2 kids. You're going to outlive him by about 25 years plus. Do you not have enough respect for your family and your children to take care of your health on the most fundamental, basic level? It's heartbreaking, as Andrew said in his meeting.
Imagine that.
We all know that I'm a father. You think I am going to get so overweight that I risk having a heart attack and dying at age 42 because I like nacho cheese? I like nacho cheese that much that the time I'm going to spend raising my family has been severely reduced by risk of cardiac arrest and type 2 adult onset diabetes.
Hey, what'd you think of chili con queso? W or L?
Jesus
That's
Christ.
that's nacho cheese essentially, but like a little bit better.
Man.
And
We're the guys who you think are dangerous?
this is the thing.
Dub, absolutely.
You have to then question
Absolutely.
how someone like Ethan becomes someone like Ethan, because his existence is miserable, self-admitted.
I know the answer.
He admits, I'm not trying to insult the guy. He admits his existence is miserable. He admits his life is unhappy. He admits he needs pills to function.
His penis doesn't work.
And he admits his penis doesn't work. So nobody wants to be him, right?
Okay,
So
great.
how do you end up in that?
How can someone just be unhappy and not do anything about it? I don't fucking get that. I actually do not get that. I don't understand how someone can be unhappy and just be complacent with being unhappy.
Terrible a position.
I will tell you 2 words. Ready?
Tell me.
His father. His father. Now, I'm not going to tell anyone his father's name or address or anything. Doxing people is morally wrong, although we've been doxed a million times. Feel free to show up at my house. It's all over the fucking internet. But I do have some of his father's tweets, which his father put out in public. And I've just screenshotted a Twitter account, which is completely fine and completely legal. And I think you should show people this man's father's Twitter interactions and Twitter conversations.
Sure. Let's see what we have.
Ethan Klein's dad, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see what we have here. I gotta make it fit, Mr. Producer. All right, so we got this. Pow.
Okay.
So
This is step 1.
Met Models fan, followed by Ethan Klein.
And
That's
his dad.
fine. Okay, so his dad follows some internet model. That's no big deal.
Yeah,
though.
that's no big deal. That's okay.
It's no big deal. What's this one? Ethan Klein's Twitter account. Are you more enthusiastic? Gary Klein. Gary
That's
Klein.
his dad, yeah.
Sorry, that's your dad. That's not Ethan. That's your dad.
Yeah,
Gary.
this is Ethan Klein's
This
father.
is Ethan
ladies
Klein's
and gentlemen.
father.
Are you
more
more-
enthusiastic with your blowjobs there? Disappointing because you're so hot.
Imagine your dad typing that out. Your father, the guy that raised you. Imagine him typing that shit out in like full seriousness. That's gotta be the most embarrassing thing. I'd be depressed too. You know what? I'd be depressed too if that was my dad.
So this is him on. He's complaining about the OnlyFans content of one of his favorite models.
Okay.
Ooh, this is getting good. What else do we have here? All right, that's that one. We've seen that one. What else do we have here? What's this one? Oops, I've Mr. Producered myself into oblivion. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to delete this. Bang.
Keep it coming. Ethan Klein's father, ladies and gentlemen. This is the guy who raised him.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's starting to all make sense. This one doesn't fit on the screen.
But the comment underneath. Do you want to read the comment underneath?
Hey, hey,
She says,
hey!
thanks to all my
hey.
fans. Something, something. It's so good. Open up the screenshot. What is it?
Susan, the nips
Oh,
are
you're
covered.
welcome.
Susan, the nips are covered.
Praying
Don't
hands or
ban me,
something?
please.
Is it something?
Ay, ay, ay.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
So Gary Klein replies, "You're welcome to this."
Now here's the thing.
I'm
I,
gonna try-
I understand that pornography is unfortunately a normal or normalized habit of men in this day and age. I understand that. But there are limits. I mean, your public Twitter account, can we load up exactly how many accounts this guy follows? Can we load this up?
Bro said you're welcome. Look at the bottom. Oh
The
man.
number. Okay, you like porn? Cool. Follow a porn star or two. Cool. Watch Pornhub. Jerk off to a video or two. Look at the number of porn accounts this guy's dad and him follow.
Susan ain't gonna be happy. Oh,
is-
please, Susan. I didn't mean it, okay? I know I didn't do anything to stop it, but I didn't mean it, okay? There's no nudity, okay? Please don't ban me.
This is a screenshot of all some of the porn actresses and OnlyFans girls that Ethan Klein's
You
father
better not snitch on me.
interacts with, which means buys content from, begs for videos, and sends support to on Twitter.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, if you count those like at the top that you can barely see. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and apparently that's not even all of it. Yo! Yo!
There's another screenshot. There's a second screenshot. More pages. I mean, you guys
Yo!
get the picture.
Oh, he probably bought all their fucking OnlyFans too. Imagine that. Paying for porn. Pitiful.
Now, let me tell you something. You need good male role models in your life to end up a happy, content person. And health is step one to happiness, in my opinion. So when I look up to my brother, when we look up to our father, when we looked up to our kickboxing coach and the other fighters and the athletes and people who are around us who stayed away from drugs, had healthy relationships with women, stayed in great shape, and we ended up how we were, it's no surprise to understand that this is why Ethan Klein ended up where he is. But, ladies and gentlemen, what you have to understand is this man has tens of thousands of people watching him every time he live streams. And my advice to you again, young men, these people do not respect you because these are the people who want to influence your opinions. They want to influence your opinions and look at what they do with their free time. And here's another thing, Ethan. If
I already said this earlier, but y'all remember when Ethan Klein was good? And that he had funny content? I used to watch that shit and laugh my ass off. When he'd just say wild shit and do wild shit, I would laugh my ass off when I was a kid. Now look at him. I don't like this. My life sucks. My dick doesn't work. That's bad. Ban Andrew Tate. Look at this misogynist. Bro, nobody wants to watch that. What the fuck?
if you don't know this, one of the major reasons for erectile dysfunction and a lack of function in the penis nowadays that happens to men, and it is a problem that's getting much worse, is the consumption of pornography, the overconsumption of pornography, the desensitization to sexual images, the ridiculous amount of masturbation that young men do, and their testosterone level drops and drops and drops and drops. Don't worry about the antidepressants, my friend Ethan. Don't worry about being overweight. I'm telling you, your penis would work much better if you didn't spend 16 hours a day beating it while your wife doesn't have sex with you. Can we get those screenshots of his wife saying him saying he doesn't get any?
Porn's a massive L. It really is. And like the sad part is none of us realize that shit as we're kids and we're just watching it and just first finding out about it. You're like, oh shit, that's a whole naked bitch on my screen. But it's really a fucking L.
Action from his wife, please.
If you look into that shit and like the nofap shit is really a fucking L. It like fucks with your dopamine. Like it makes your like you said, it makes your dick stop working. The testosterone thing is actually like not true, but the dopamine and like fucking with your dick, that should be enough. It really should.
I feel bad, bro.
No, I'm advising him. So there is a screenshot that I hope that you're going to find right now, where he says, I just got the first bit of action that I've had in months when my finger slipped through the toilet paper and slipped up my butthole on the toilet. And his wife says, you shouldn't put this on Twitter. And he says, well, last time you slipped a finger up my butthole was a long time ago.
You at first you think that's a joke. I don't think that was a joke. Holy shit. That's fucking pitiful. Not in months. Hey Dakota, what's up? But no, not in months. That's pitiful. Imagine that. Imagine that. You're married to a woman. Just months of nothing. That's pitiful.
One, you consider actually getting your wife to finger your butthole. Now, cool. Right. You're into what you're into.
Hey, I've been chilling, bro. I hope you've been doing good. I really do.
Judging you. But I'm telling you, the reason she doesn't want to have sex with you and the reason your penis doesn't work.
No Twitter before breakfast. Ah! She said no Twitter before breakfast. Imagine.
Is you constantly eating your meat. Maybe find a wife who's attractive, who inspires you to have sex with her. Maybe be more of a man for your wife so you can give her a good time and sexually please her in the bedroom. Maybe put down the porn and your life will be happier and more fulfilled. I swear to God, Ethan, this is just good advice coming from a man who has a very healthy relationship with.
Oh shit, I heard about that, bro. I'm praying for you. I've seen your story and shit, and that really sucks. Like I'm really praying for you, and I'm hoping you get through it. And I'm hoping you beat that shit. Fuck cancer.
Women who has unlimited sexual access from women, who does not watch porn. You really need to get your mind right, bro.
No, but these people, you know what it is? He's just a sad person. He's a
Should
sad
beat
man.
it by Christmas.
He
Hell
takes
yeah.
pills,
Hell yeah, bro. You're on track to beat it. That's good. That makes me happy.
He's just a sad guy, and he just sits on the internet trying to tear down people he wishes he was. And you know what? It's not even his fault, because if that's his father, I mean, I've got a picture here of our dad, if anyone didn't know. But
yeah,
we had the best dad on the planet.
Yeah, if you're watching this, by the way, post the link everywhere. Get inside the matrix, spread it around. Let's pump the viewer number up. 40,000 people watching us.
Damn.
Spread the message.
So our father was a fearsome predator, and he raised us to be fearsome predators. But if your father's just a cuckold porn addict, then I guess Ethan's a result. So in a way, he's kind of not responsible.
He's a victim.
He's a victim. But he needs to be self-aware enough to understand why he hates the way he is and why he hates us, and try and improve himself. Because if Ethan were to actually wake up and say, you know what, I need to become a better person, I want to go to the gym, I want to train hard, etc., I'd encourage him. I have nothing personal.
Ethan, I would actually encourage you.
But yeah,
reach out.
I mean, your father's porn addiction is kind of embarrassing. So
Encourage everybody you know to go to the gym, because it really does help. Like, if you're having any kind of mental health problems, hitting the gym 1000% helps. I'm speaking on personal experience. And there's some people in the chat, if they're still even here, because it says like 1 or 2 at a time on my stream, but there's people in the chat that can also speak from experience. Going to the gym will definitely help your mental health. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, you got me on that shit. You got me started on that shit. Yeah, or working out at home too. Yeah, it really fucking helps. Getting active and shit, it really fucking helps with your mental health.
but that's going to become a thing.
Yeah.
Who else was there to talk about? There's also your mate. We had to talk about your mate.
Well, one second. Are we finished on Ethan? Are we finished?
There's so much more.
Oh, but there really is so much more.
Let's do it in bits.
Let's do it in bits. You
Till
sure?
next time.
Till next time. I don't know. I don't feel like giving these people a platform.
I think we're about to get to the
All right,
interesting
Logan.
part.
Yeah. If I was Logan, I would have cried when I got cancelled. Right. Your mate is next. Your mate. And this is probably the worst thing that we've received on anybody that we can publicly put out there. Because believe me, the stuff that we are... One, you know
think
what?
they talk about
we
other
could
shit.
publicly put it out there because I believe Rumble would have our backs, but I just don't think it's nice.
Before we talk about one,
Yeah. That's why I always say, especially on my Fat Ally videos, I highly recommend everybody go to the gym because it really does make your life that much better. And I love it.
I want to talk about a fucking G.
I love it
G of the week?
personally.
G.
At the end of the day, again, the platforms that
And these large streaming companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars producing content. They take a huge financial risk. Channel. You produce your channel to prepare yourself for the opponent.
We're going to the Daz Black part.
Only happened last year, but still.
Oh shit.
Is this even good? Yourself. You protect yourself with alternate platforms. I'm going to pave the way and show that Rumble channel to prepare yourself.
I do happen to know, though, that there is, in fact, a groomer of children on YouTube.
If you didn't see my last video, listen up.
and this is backed up by real solid evidence. There is a groomer of YouTube, a groomer of children, a verified groomer of children on YouTube. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this guy. He's Andrew's mate, but can we play this clip? Do you have it?
Is he my mate?
He's your mate, yeah, but there is an actual groomer who talks about us. A real groomer of children.
That's Black.
I find absolutely disgusting. And what's funny is he came out and started saying that we do something wrong. This guy literally is, in fact, a child sexual groomer.
That's just
Play
crazy.
the video and then let me talk about it a little bit, please.
Allegedly, I don't want to get sued, just in case he's not, but if you see my video and you've seen all the evidence, which I think you're about to see right here, it's really looking like dude's guilty.
Well, it turns out Daz Black, he isn't the only one with his own detractors. And we actually had one woman pop up in our DMs, and well, she had a story she wanted to share. Now, I'm gonna read what was sent to you, and I'll be honest, it's pretty disturbing. Now, I need to make mention again that these are allegations. I can't prove the validity of any of this, but she did provide some photos. So we're just hearing her out. The conversation begins. I told him that we meet when I was a kid, and he reminded me. He came back to mine. Then the next day, he removed me on.
Hey, my boy Mac. I'm kind of sober right now, so spark one up for me. I know that's what you about to do. I know that's what you about to do.
But still followed the OnlyFans. After that, I felt used. He promised me loads of stuff, but all he wanted out of me was.
In Minecraft.
He is no better than Tate in any way, yet goes on about how much of a scumbag he is. I can't even look at his videos without feeling like I was used for that man's gratification. I have photos of me and him together at 13 and 19. It only happened last year, but still it affected me for a while and helped add up to a huge mental breakdown I suffered a month or two after.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Nothing illegal here. The girl was of the age of 19, but man,
And my success, bro. I've had this past week and a half, I've gained more subscribers than I have in like, I think the last 4 months. I've just been going off the chain recently.
did he wait? Found her at 13 and was like, I'll see you later. You know, it's funny because everyone out there is quick to point the finger, but we all are out here living our lives, and I don't know, I guess that woman says she's going through some issues there. So, you know, he's not completely innocent, and
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. A girl came forward saying that she met this man, Daz Black, at 13 years of age, and he groomed her through sexual conversation, promises of friendship, promises of collaboration. Yeah, you could do your YouTube channel one day. A 13-year-old girl. And he spoke to this girl until he eventually had sex with her. He had sex with her, and then, after no doubt giving a very poor sexual performance, completely ghosted her and broke her heart. 13.
That's fucked. Imagine that. 13 and 19. That'd be like if I'm 19 right now. That'd be as if I was talking to a 13-year-old. That's fucking disgusting. That's disgusting. Ugh. Bro, how the fuck? I don't understand. I'm trying to wrap my mind around the concept of talking to a 13-year-old, and I just can't. I can't. It's crazy.
13 years old this girl was. And this guy says because you and your ex used to spank your ex, and your ex came out in 3 different occasions over the last 10 years and made videos saying, yep, I like getting spanked by Andrew. I love getting spanked by Andrew. It's something we're into. 2 consenting adults. This man who sexually groomed...
Hey, Matt, say in Minecraft after some wild shit like that, you're gonna have the feds on you. Have the just kidding star behind that.
Is the definition of groomer. Spoke to a 13-year-old child until she eventually let him have sex with her, is out here saying my name and your name. You cancel this guy. And you know what, Rumble? Don't let this guy on Rumble. Cancel him too, because that's actually fucking sick. The police should be sent to this man's house, but he should actually be arrested. He should actually be charged. He should actually serve jail time. This is disgusting. When I got sent this, I was like, but why? With skeletons in your closet, would you do this? You know who dad...
And in my video, it turns out that it's not just the one girl. There's plenty of other women saying essentially the same thing. And according to that other video, they're gonna have, in one of the upcoming emergency meeting episodes, they're gonna have one of the girls on the stream talking about that shit. So you best believe when they do, we're gonna do a live stream about it. You best believe that shit. We're gonna be live streaming every weekend now.
As is, everyone look this up if you don't know who this man
Just make it, just making sure it was tight. Holy shit.
was. There was a man called the Reverend Ted Haggard. Now, the Reverend Ted Haggard was an American evangelical preacher. He was the head of the church that advised George W. Bush. There's pictures of him with former U.S. presidents. And he was so anti-gay in his messaging, under the guise of being a Christian, he would get up on stage and talk about how they're all going to burn in hell, how homosexuality is evil. And all the while, this guy was meeting up with gay prostitutes, having meth-fueled sex orgies with men. Now, he was famously outed. Look up the Reverend Ted Haggard. These men are out there accusing other people to divert attention because they are the predators themselves. The Reverend Ted Haggard was secretly having sex with men while preaching anti-homosexuality. This guy is out here called...
If you got a pair of balls, you're not gonna ever try and cancel anybody.
When you names, me names, saying we're committing crimes that have never existed, no one's been charged for, we've never been arrested in our whole lives, and this man literally was grooming a child until he had sex with her. He's probably grooming some right now. He has to point the finger so you look somewhere else.
Yeah.
And apparently dude has a wife too. And kids. Wife and kids. And you're doing this shit. They always got a wife and kids. Man's living life. Man's gonna be serving life if he don't stop.
That's what happens with creeps. I'm not a creep. He's a creep. He's a creep. Hey, look over there. He's a creep. He's a creep. Hey, not me. Brother, we said to you on the last podcast, we said men with sexual access like us have no reason to break any fucking laws.
We're not dangerous. Women want to have sex with us.
We have no reason to hurt women. We have no reason to speak to underage women. We have unlimited sexual access. It's pieces of shit like you who have no choice. We're going to break the laws to try and get something because you have no fucking option.
We called it in the last fucking podcast before we knew any of this was real.
In the last podcast, we said it. We literally said men like him are dangerous to women. And then it turns out in the week after that, you're fucking talking to a 13-year-old. You're disgusting. You want to jump on the bandwagon and attack me, make some video with 9 million views, sitting there saying that I'm a danger to women and that women have come forward accusing me. And in his video, no women came forward. That was a lie. He had no proof from any woman. That was a lie. And then women come out and say that you're a fucking pedophile. Disgusting.
Girls, not women.
Disgusting.
Girls.
Don't worry. I want the girl to know this, and we can get this to as many places as possible. To the girl who he groomed. Not only should you take this criminal, I trust you're already working with the police to take this criminal. From a civil perspective, I will back you legally and give you as much money as you need to make sure this person pays for the fucking crimes they committed.
The best lawyers in the world are on the Tate brothers because we are your ally. We don't want bad things to happen to fucking anyone. I've got a fucking daughter, for fuck's sake.
Absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting in every
W. Tates.
way.
But why, with so many skeletons in your closet, would you go out and make false accusations about men who have done nothing wrong? Why would you do that? Please try to make it make sense, Andrew. Make this make sense. I do not understand. You fucking nailed it, though. You called it. He's the danger to women, and I could tell from looking at his face that he was a danger to women.
You can tell by looking at his face.
Turns out, a 13-year-old girl? Bro. That's not even women, bro.
You could see on his face the desperation. You could see when we put that video up of his anger and his desperation, his hatred for women.
Choose me.
Hatred, because all he can do is fucking sit there and eat.
You take the child, promise her a YouTube career. I'm the big star from YouTube. I'll be your friend because you know what? On the sexual battlefield, you can't compete. You are desperate. You are sick in the head. There is something fucking wrong with you.
Channel's the only thing he has, so he used it as leverage. And like fucking adult women don't fucking they honestly don't really care about a YouTube channel unless it's like really big. And I never heard of Daz Black before he canceled Andrew Tate. So it kind of adds up. Plus, look at him. Look at him. Any woman in here, would you want to fuck that guy? I don't know if there are any women. I would assume no. If not, then maybe like one. But it adds up.
And this is a platform where I can actually say that. On YouTube, they probably consider that a sexual orientation we're hating on. Liking kids is not a sexual orientation. There is something wrong with you, Daz Black. I don't know why the fuck you decided to point the finger at someone else. This is disgusting.
Yeah, so look at this. People on Twitter are starting to notice. Said, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul, but I'm glad we're talking bad against Andrew. All the agents sticking together, right? All the agents want to stick together.
The
So now,
pedophiles,
the pedophile,
the traitors to their brothers.
the pedophile, the brother trader agent, the fucking fat True Geordie dildo lover, all of them want to stick together.
Facts. Child predators should be given a death sentence. Facts. Pedophiles should be given death sentences.
They're to protect fucking CuckTube, right?
The guy's
These are not,
penis doesn't work.
the guy whose dick doesn't work. These are not people you want to emulate. There's not. If you're on their side, you need to strongly look in the mirror. And then the fucking people are saying, look, you literally groomed a 13-year-old girl for 6 years. What about the dangers he imposes? People are starting to wake up to this Daz Black fuck. Look at this. Shut the fuck up, groomer. Fucking groomer.
I'm not even laughing. This is not funny.
Guy's a fucking weirdo.
If you are that girl, the best legal team in the world, or whatever country that you live in, I assume America, is on us. We've got your back.
No, he lives in England.
He lives in England? Fine. Well, I'll get a QC.
Dude, shut the fuck up. You were canceled when you were sleeping with underage girls, you bum. Yeah, it's right here. And then you know what he said? Remember after he made a video about me saying that girls were coming forward, which no girls came forward.
Didn't happen. It's clickbait.
He made that up. Clickbait. He made that up. Then look what he tries to tweet out. Then he tweets out this and says, look at this. Look what this fucking piece of shit tweets out.
Look at this guy.
When a man is accused of rape, it doesn't mean he did it. So many girls lie. No one talks about the men who are...
The irony! The irony. Preying on another man's downfall, but when it's his turn and he actually has people accusing him instead of just making shit up, he's like, oh, that doesn't mean I did it. They got proof. They got proof. After this stream, if you haven't seen my last video, you should, because we go more into detail about it than they do, but there is proof. Anybody's OnlyFans and pussy pics too.
lied
Crazy.
about.
well,
Now girls are liars.
Well, let me tell you something.
Now girls are liars, you fucking
Well, let me tell you
pedophile.
something. We weren't even accused of rape. You were accused of rape.
We weren't accused of anything.
We were accused of anything. All the women who've come out to speak about me and Andrew ever since. There's an article coming out in Rolling Stone magazine with a very famous girl who was contacted. They are out
What's the blood eagle? What's the blood eagle? I never heard of that term.
searching for information. In fact, I'll give her a shout because this is a big article that's going to land soon. Coconut Kitty 143 is a very famous model. She's a very famous model who I spent some time with in California. Somebody noticed we followed each other from Rolling Stone magazine, and the article will be coming soon. They reached out saying, "Hi, what do you know about the Tate brothers? I've heard you."
You told me to look it up on stream, but I'm thinking that's a bad idea. I'm thinking I shouldn't look it up on stream. I have this intuition that I don't think Susan's gonna like it. I don't think Susan's gonna like me looking it up on stream. I don't know. We shall see.
Spent time with one of them. And you know what she told them? She told them the true ass story of when I was at her house. She barely knew
It's
me. No one else
crazy.
was around. She slipped and hit her.
Mac, I trust you to tell me the truth. Will Susan ban me if I look this shit up on stream? Come on, Mac. You're watching canceled YouTubers. I can watch canceled YouTubers. I can't look up someone getting their fucking face ripped off or anything like that. Y'all Just look it up on your phone. Great idea, Logan. That's where the chat is. Alright. Give me a second. I'm gonna look this shit up on phone. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Holy shit. Oh, shit. Yeah. Give all pedophiles the blood eagle.
Head by the side of the pool, and I carried her to bed, asked her if she was okay, left her alone the entire night, fucking made her some breakfast in the morning, and she's like, you know, Tristan, you're such a gentleman, you're such a hero. And that's what she says. That's what the girls who are contacted about me say. You are a fucking pedophile, my friend. Andrew, play the clip.
Yeah, so you're right, because when the Matrix attacked
If you don't know, do what I just did. Look it up. I'm not about to show this shit on stream.
us, about 20 girls from our past were all contacted by media trying to get bad stories about us, and they could only say good things. But this pedophile has women actually coming out against him. Look what we said in our last emergency meeting. The reason women don't go with him is he doesn't understand that women intrinsically see him as a threat.
Yeah.
Because men like you and I, they know we have options, so we have no reason to ever assault anybody, hurt anybody, no reason to be creepy, no reason to be weird. We could just be nice with a girl, and if she's not interested, fine. We have options. Men like him have no options, so they find him very scary. They're like, okay, he can't control what he eats. He's very emotional. He seems a bit unpredictable.
If he gets me back to his house,
Is he gonna let me go?
He's gonna see this as his one big chance.
Yeah, so
to have some sexual intercourse.
this is the thing, Dad.
And women know, bro.
They can
Women
smell
know,
it.
They pick up on it.
They
And
can
that's
smell it.
why you have to make videos like that. That's why you were alone. That is why your girlfriend left you. I saw that video as well. Don't even play that because I'm genuinely feeling sorry for the guy. Reach out anytime, bro.
They should play it. I haven't seen
So in
that
the last
video.
emergency meeting, we literally called it. That's what happens when you've had a good life like ours, when you've
We
been
know.
around the block. You can see, you can read people. We could read Daz is a pedophile. We could read that Ethan's dick doesn't work and he's depressed. We can read that Logan's so scared of being canceled because he's insecure and he needs to feel popular when he's owned.
When I first
we
saw,
can read it all.
When I first saw True Geordie's clip insulting webcam models, saying that they're dirt and they're trash, I looked at it and I said, that guy's a customer of webcam girls. He's mad they don't like him. He probably got scammed and ripped off. And a few months later, lo and behold, the screenshots of him begging girls to dildo his asshole and paying the money over the internet for sexual gratification came around. I called it. I said, this guy is a customer of the exact stuff he is hating on women for.
Should we find the TikTok where Daz Black got exposed for buying pussy pics? W or L? W we should, L we shouldn't. W or
Me
L?
and Andrew could see it. We see moves ahead. We are the sons of one of the greatest chess masters that ever lived. If you think we can't spot the truth, believe me, we fucking can. And time
W.
after time after time,
W.
we've been proven right.
Every time, bro. And you're right. With True Geordie, you said it. You said he's mad at cam girls because he feels frustrated because he's a customer. Then he's begging girls to dildo his ass. Look,
seeing
we
W's.
know exactly why these people do what they do. It's very obvious
seeing
why
W's.
Logan, Ethan, all these people do what they do. It's so fucking obvious to the world. And they sit there and think they're fooling people. Daz is a fucking pedophile, and I'm not going to let that drop. I'm going to find that woman. I'm going to offer her counsel. I'm going to make sure that she has the best lawyers. I'm also going to be suing Daz. I'm going to be taking him to court for defamation. He is going to be ending up in court, standing up in front of the whole fucking audience, explaining why he's talking to fucking children. You fucked with the wrong person. My brother has children. I don't even have to give you the details on my family life. The point is this. You're a fucking disgusting individual, Daz. There's absolutely nothing about you which is sanitary or acceptable. And for you to sit here and make a slate video on me is bad enough when you know you're in the wrong doing it purely for click. But doing it when you're the actual fucking predator speaking to females who are underage is unacceptable on every level. And I swear, it is the duty of me as a soldier of God to make sure that you are punished
And me, as a father,
for that action. You are not going to fucking sit here and commit crimes against God and live with your little fat fuck face up in England thinking nothing's going to happen to you, my friend. You're going to fucking jail. Right. On to
Amen.
happier fucking subjects.
so we've spoken about your
Amen.
mate.
Alright, we gotta find this shit. Oh, it's already in the search bar. Hey. Is it this one?
Create a professional logo.
I apologize, I don't have ad blocker.
Just go to
Sorry,
All right, today's news story is so big, I actually have
that is the wrong one. We gotta go straight to the channel page.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. A girl
think this is it. Right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, for starters, we can all stop in the comments. We have heard from Daz's mouth. It is not
Here it is,
Madonna.
here it is,
Like
here
in
it
the words
is,
of
here it
Mo-
is.
Well, they're actually posting clips like this to TikTok. Take a look.
I saw this girl, we matched on a dating app, all was great. She was like, oh, do you want to like go over Snapchat? Now we all know what that means.
20, 30, 10, 40, 20, 30. PayPal in the Snapchat. In the chats right there. D-Man. 4K. Caught. Of course the man buys pussy pics. Of course the man buys pussy pics.
What that means.
Darren Blackmore. That's obviously him. That's obviously him. Down horrendous. Imagine that. Imagine spending your own money on something you could just type in on Google incognito mode. Imagine that shit. He probably thinks he's gonna get some pussy out of it too. Horrendous. Alright, what else should we watch? No, I kind of want to get into some conspiracy theory shit. Let's see. Let's see. Y'all know about Jake Tran? I want to find something interesting. Hold up. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand anybody that actually fucking pays good money for OnlyFans. It makes no sense to me. It does not compute inside of my head. What should we do? College is a scam. Evil. Poison and baby powder? Oh, Bohemian Grove. That's interesting. Bohemian Grove's pretty interesting. What do y'all know about Bohemian Grove? This is where we gotta be careful with what we say. Where is this? About sweatshops. The clothes you made were made by children. Seen that? There's a lot of interesting shit on here. It's hard to choose. Any suggestions? Okay, this is actually a pretty good one. This is a pretty good one. Credit is a scam. Find anything better? So, do you want to know about debt slavery, or do you want to know about the recycling, how recycling doesn't matter? One or two. One or two. I'll let you guys decide. Let me bring this back up here so I don't have to look down. 2? Alright, we got a 2 so far. Anybody else want to pitch in? Two. Seeing a lot of 2s. Alright. 2 it is. Recycling is a scam.
back, America. Applebee's all-you-can-eat boneless wings, just $12.99.
Adventure
Oh,
elevated.
fuck you, Susan. JK,
The
JK, I
Subaru
love you.
Outback Wilderness.
Please don't ban me.
So you're a plastic company. You've teamed up with oil companies to create a miracle product that can do pretty much anything. It's cheap, durable, easily accessible, and easy to mass produce. What more could you ask for?
I know, I feel like I'm dreaming.
And by the 1980s, you're in your prime. The only problem is plastics can't be destroyed. They just keep piling up and up and up. Now, this is actually not a problem for you. The more plastic that piles up means the more plastic you're selling. But the real problem is the general public.
If you don't know about Jake Tran, I highly recommend you subscribe. He talks about some interesting shit, and it's really good quality videos.
See, the masses crave to feel that they're good people, that they're the righteous ones, the moral ones, fighting against evil.
Shout out Jake Tran.
And polluting the planet with plastic trash that takes upwards of half a millennia to decompose makes you an easy target for the plebs. In their eyes, you're the evil scapegoats. So the general public starts protesting the plastics industry. Now, this is bad, because you know the success of anything, political movements, educational movements, businesses, entire industries, including the plastics industry, rely on the approval of the public. If the public turns on you, you're done. So you need to come up with a solution, something that would change the public's perception of plastic, something that will allow them to keep consuming plastic without feeling guilty about themselves for destroying the planet. The only problem is, most plastic is literally not recyclable. It's not just that you can't recycle plastic, it's that the process to do so is so expensive and labor intensive that making new plastic will always be cheaper. So you settle on the next best thing. This is the recycling symbol created in 1970. And this is the resin identification code, a symbol created by the plastics industry in 1988. A symbol that's on almost every piece of plastic you buy today. Now, if you're saying to yourself that symbol looks shockingly similar to the official recycling symbol, you'd be correct, because that was by design. A design to intentionally deceive the general public into believing the plastic you buy is recyclable.
It's not. Well, I mean, it is recyclable, but they're not gonna recycle it.
Yeah.
Or if they are, it's gonna be just as bad for the environment as just dumping it in the ocean or a river.
Recycling is a literal lie concocted by the plastics industry to sell you more plastic.
That's why I really never gave a fuck about recycling, because I knew that it really wouldn't make that much of a difference because people just gonna dump that shit anyways. It's just gonna end up in fucking China or Somalia or some shit like that. Like, I was never really that big into recycling.
And this is how it was pulled off. How much plastic could the world
possibly use? Oh, that's not so much. So?
Damn.
I had no idea.
You can even recycle your bicycle, cause all metals and plastics are recyclable. So reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Most of what makes people feel good about recycling is based on misinformation.
The biggest plastic manufacturer today is the Dow Chemical Company. The Dow Chemical Company has over $19 million in debt. That's a lot of debt.
Yeah.
We don't know the interest rate on that debt, but what we do know is that drowning in credit card debt and other high interest debt to the point where you can only afford to pay off the interest every month is a surefire way of staying in poverty, while your lender gets rich. And if you're drowning in a lot of high interest debt, that's where Upstart in your credit score.
What are plastics? Are they vegetable or mineral?
Vegetable? Bro really said vegetable. Vegetable or mineral?
Plastic production started
Goofy
in the early
ass.
1900s. It was marketed as a material of 1,000 uses. And it was making money and gaining popularity slowly, but it was nowhere near its real earning potential. Then World War II hit. And since economic power was just as important as military power, wars aren't free after all, the government started prioritizing the production of this new material that wasn't just very useful, but also very profitable. You see, the military had to get money from somewhere to keep fighting the war, and plastic was an industry with a lot of potential just waiting to be exploited. So during World War II alone, plastic production in the US increased by 300%. plastic took the place of steel in cars and warplanes, it replaced paper and glass packaging, and even wood furniture.
Plastics will play as large a role in peace as they do in war. Here is a plane containing hundreds of plastic parts. Here another bonded by plastics. This paratrooper floating down to welcome Mother Earth is depending on plastics to get him there safely.
And since plastic is made from oil and natural gas products, plastic companies suddenly emerged from the oil giants like Exxon, Mobil, Chevron, and DuPont. And with the backing of the fossil fuel industry, there was nowhere to go but up. It's kinda hard to illustrate just how much of a game changer plastic was for companies. Imagine spending all these man hours machining these expensive materials like metal, wood, and glass for years and years and years. And then comes along this wonder material that was not only orders of magnitude cheaper, but could be molded into any shape and was durable. Everyone was using it for pretty much everything, from chairs to cheap jewelry to car parts. But because it was so durable and useful, these plebs started hanging onto their plastic products. They weren't throwing them away after one single use. This was a problem for you. If people reuse your plastic indefinitely, you can't make them a repeat buyer, which is where all the real money is at. So the plastic industry launched a massive campaign, millions of dollars worth of ads, encouraging people not to be such unsophisticated peasants. Reusing dirty plastic? Ew. Just throw it away after one use, what's the harm? It's so cheap to replace. And it started to work. But then came the hippies. You see, not everyone saw the beauty in plastic as you did. And when they started noticing your ads telling everyone to just chuck out their plastic and buy new ones, the plastic industry became the prime target for destroying the environment, which led to America's first ever Earth Day
Never trust a company.
holiday in 1970 to protest the use of plastic and other pollutants. 1 in 10 Americans took part. Now obviously, this number of people going up against your industry is not good. If everyone found out the extent of just how bad plastics were for the environment, how they can't be destroyed and how it kills animals, you would be out of business. So you concocted a genius plan. Instead of fighting the hippies, you would join them playing both sides.
I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
So you, the other plastic companies, and the fossil fuel companies create a front organization called Keep America Beautiful. A very wholesome, inconspicuous name. And to kick things off, you create the Crying Indian ad.
People start pollution.
That's the corniest shit I've ever seen.
People can stop it.
It's literally called the Crying Indian, I did not make that up. Hilariously, the Crying Indian was actually an Italian actor named Iron Eyes Cody. And apparently...
He's not even Indian, bro. He's Italian. Imagine that. They ain't even use a real Indian. They just use some Italian motherfucker. They're like, hey, cry for me, bitch.
Impersonating Native Americans was a specialty. This ad played on TVs all over America. And for a hot minute, it seemed like Earth Day protests were really making a difference. Here were the actual plastic companies telling people to stop littering and to be more conscious of the environment so the Indian doesn't cry. Sure, you could have spent the...
Why does everybody just like associate Indians with nature? Like maybe fucking hundreds of years ago, but they're just a lot of them just like live in the slums right now. They either live in the slums or they run a casino.
Money finding ways to make plastic more reusable, but why do that when you can just placate the masses by making it look like you're trying to change? And it worked. People started throwing their trash away, and it even helped start the very first few recycling plants. And those few recycling plants gave way to the best idea yet.
And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
You see, have you ever noticed, like, have you ever looked at just like old ads from like the 70s and like 50s and shit like that, and just think that sounds like propaganda? Like all of those ads, they got the happy music. They're like, oh, you should do this. This is gonna make your life so much better. It just sounds like propaganda. How many of y'all in here are into conspiracy theories and shit?
By 1970, plastic products that were recyclable, like milk jugs and soda bottles, had the official recycling symbol stamped on them. That is good news. Plebs don't have to feel guilty anymore about buying plastic milk and soda bottles. The bad news is that milk and soda bottles make up just a tiny percentage of all the plastic out there, with most of it not being recyclable. But there is still hope. The public mind has now associated this symbol with being good for the planet. So all you have to do is latch onto that association. So you come up with your own.
Yeah, there's propaganda everywhere. Yes, absolutely. We should do some. Even to yeah, absolutely. Even today, we should do on these streams. We should do some like conspiracy theory shit. Maybe a couple videos about it too. I think that'd be very interesting. I'd totally be down for that. W or L?
Own version of the recycling symbol. You make the arrows a little bit thinner, you slap a number in the center of it, and then you lobby to slap this symbol onto every plastic product in existence. Here's the official recycling symbol, and here is the resin identification marker, or resin identification code, concocted by the plastic industry. There are 7 different resin identification codes, yet realistically, only 2 out of the 7 types of plastics can be recycled. But it worked. Consumers didn't know what these big numbers meant. All they saw was what looked like a
lot of W's.
Symbol. So they just assumed that all plastic products with this symbol were recyclable.
Message
Buying
received.
no longer meant that they were destroying the planet. So they kept on consuming, when in reality you knew the truth. That plastic recycling would never work, that it would always be too expensive, that plastic degrades every time it was recycled, so it could only really be reused 2 or 3 times. But that didn't matter anymore, because the public's guilt was satisfied.
If the public thinks the recycling is working, then they're not going to be as concerned about the environment.
And although these codes should have made the life of recyclers easier in theory,
don't be an NPC. Find a way to just make a lot of money. Just make money. Cash, cash, cash. As much of it as you can get. Have financial security so that if something bad happens, you got yourself. Alright, yeah, alright, you have a good night, Dakota.
Because they can now easily separate what is recyclable from what isn't, it had the opposite effect. It made recycling almost impossible now, because people were throwing way more junk into the recycle bin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's electric.
Fuck!
Made extraordinary, with intelligence that feels anything.
In the US, we're recycling less than 50% of our bottles and cans. Join PepsiCo in the recycling of every last bottle and can.
In the advertising campaign.
Also, don't drink sodas and shit. That shit's terrible. That shit'll fuck up your insides. All the microplastics. Y'all heard about the microplastics?
Campaigns didn't end there. Hundreds of ads, hundreds of campaigns, all encouraging people to recycle their plastics so they could protect the planet. One plastic lobbyist famously said, "What we need to do is advertise our way out of this." The bottle may look empty, yet it's anything but trash, says one ad from 1990, showing a plastic bottle bouncing out of a garbage truck. It's full of potential. We've pioneered the country's largest, most
You love soda? Maybe we should do a video on like sodas. Maybe we should look one up after this.
comprehensive plastic recycling program to help plastic fill valuable uses and roles.
W water.
It's an obligation, and your planet will thank you for your cooperation.
I'm reusing this plastic jug and making it into a funnel and a tool holder. Jars for nuts, bolts, screws, nails. Reuse it for the future. It's worth it.
These ads were made to look like they came from environmentalists, when in reality, it really came from the fossil fuel companies behind all this plastic in the first place.
Why?
Whenever the public became outraged, you would fund more recycling initiatives, and when the public died down, that funding was pulled. With all this advertising came the introduction of single-use plastics, like straws, shopping bags, bottled water. A material designed to last forever was being thrown away after one use. But don't worry, because you can recycle them, building up the industry's revenue to an insane $1.2 trillion a year. Cigarette companies and the Diamond Cartel are often credited as some of the greatest marketers of all time because of the feats they pulled off, but their practices eventually became somewhat well known to the public. But the plastic industry? Today, hardly anyone even knows about the ruse that was pulled off.
Some recycle. Yeah, how many of y'all knew about this shit before now? I can do Monster, you'll still drink it? Yeah, I know you will, Matt. I know you will. I love microplastics. Yummy,
Reusing
yummy,
aluminum saves lots of energy. But just about everything else is a scam.
only the good that recycling does for Darwin and its environment, but a few simple mistakes can mean the difference between recycling right and wasting our recycling efforts. Putting plastic bags in the yellow bins, for example, can send tons of good recycling to landfill. So don't let our efforts go to waste. Learn to recycle for good.
Today, although more and more of the types of plastic can be recycled, it either costs way more money compared to just making more plastic, or the act of recycling itself is even worse for the environment. Paper recycling involves bleaching and de-inking, things that can pollute the environment even more. Transporting materials to recycling plants out of state can cause even more pollution than the recycling would make up for.
All recycling isn't necessarily good and isn't necessarily environmentally benign. Well, I live in Bozeman, Montana, and in order to recycle glass bottles, we ship them down to Golden, Colorado.
And in places like LA, using 400 more garbage trucks to collect recyclable waste, most of it won't be recycled in the first place, just adds to air pollution and more taxes.
After Los Angeles mandated recycling, they discovered they needed another 400 garbage trucks to pick up the new container.
Today,
Scam. Yeah, there's so many scams out there that we just do on like a regular basis. Like it'll blow your mind once you really like dive deep into it. It'll blow your fucking mind.
Less than 10% of all plastic is recycled, but the impressive part is that no one is the wiser. So where does the rest of that 90% go?
Under the sea.
When you look at plastic, you know how it helps things stay fresh and safe and light and unbreakable and strong and easy to carry.
Oh, he's retired from Exxon, so yeah, no, he knows exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, he knows exactly what he's
But
talking
take another look. Plastic also saves energy because it helps make cars lighter to save gas. And plastic insulation helps save energy at home. Even these strong plastic bags help save energy because they take less energy to make than other grocery bags. To learn more, call this number for a free booklet. And take another look at plastic.
Most of the 300 million tons of plastic waste produced each year that isn't recycled ends up in landfills. But not all of it ends up there. Around 10 million tons ends up in the ocean each year as well. That's the equivalent of one garbage truck full of plastic being dumped into the ocean every single minute, according to some estimates. This could be accidental due to heavy rain and wind moving trash into the ocean, or it could be from illegal dumping, with most of it coming from Asian countries we sell our trash to. And since plastic isn't biodegradable, most of it slowly breaks into smaller and smaller pieces over time. These tiny pieces of plastic are called microplastics, and they either form a sludge layer.
Microplastics! Right here it is.
In the middle of the ocean, or end up being eaten by fish. And no matter if you're a raging environmentalist SJW or a hardcore conservative, this creates a problem for you. Not only does it kill marine life like dolphins and whales, we all know about that, but that same plastic ends up seeping its way into practically everything we eat. It's
Finally,
what the fuck?
Website the way you actually envision it.
What the fuck?
Now, being Theojo the tech.
It's in the delicious sushi I'm addicted to, other forms of seafood, it's in the salt taken from the ocean water, it's in things that don't even come from the ocean like fruits and vegetables, with apples having the highest concentration of—
Yeah, we all got some microplastics inside of us. That's fucked. We eat oil.
Microplastics, and broccoli and carrots trailing behind, and sometimes it's even found in the air we breathe. Decades of plastic use have contaminated our air, water, and soil. Eating just a bite
there's literally no way to avoid it whatsoever. No matter what, you're just fucked.
Of an apple can now mean eating hundreds of thousands of bits of plastic at the same time. And just like when cigarettes first came out, there wasn't decades of smoking history to base studies off of, so doctors just assumed it wasn't bad for you, giving smoking their stamp of approval. Today, we still don't have a clear picture on what the long-term effects of consuming plastic are. Yes, we love plastic so much that we become one with the same material concocted by plastic and oil giants. Now, if you watch this channel, you know that I am not the biggest fan of taxes or a giant all-consuming government. That's why I'm not going to use this opportunity to push you guys to support more government programs funded by taxes, more regulations, like every environmentalist. Instead, I'm gonna push you guys to donate to Team Seas,
Alright,
a
bro.
campaign where all the biggest creators are coming together to
Is
raise
this-
$30
is
million
the end of the video?
to get 30 million pounds of trash out of the ocean. It's led by Mr. Beast, an incredibly kind and smart guy, and Mark Rober. Last year, their goal was $20 million to plant 20 million trees.
I feel like
They
I think there was something.
trash. Political spectrum.
Maybe I was wrong. I thought there was something about like cigarette companies. Hey, no
Keep
limits.
sharpening
What's
that
up?
line. Stay dangerous out there, and I will see you guys.
All right, never mind. I was wrong. All right. Well, I already talked about microplastics. It's in fucking everything. Bailey! Hey! Oh shit. I haven't talked to you in a minute, dog. What's up? Alright. Alright. What else do we want to watch? Ladies and gentlemen, what else do we want to watch? What's up, dude? How you been? Yo, mama. Let's go down. Let's go into the earlier videos. Those are better. You know what? Last video, we're gonna watch this one too. We're gonna watch this one too.
A Corona and palm trees.
A Corona and calm seas.
And a balm breeze.
And our strong knees.
It's Andy and Snoop.
And we're eating Guam cheese.
Guam cheese?
Yeah, I don't know. I ran out of rhymes.
For the decades leading up to 1971, the US experienced a ton of real massive growth. Workers
Child labor and chocolate. I don't think I heard much about chocolate. I know about child labor though.
went from making 670
Clothes. This was made by a child.
$55 a year or $19,000 in today's.
This might have been made by a child. So it's this and this. If it comes from China, it was made by a child. The 420 sub special. Hey, I think I know what kind of lines your idea is along. You might have to DM me about that one. I was made by a child. Yikes. They grind on the grind, in their zone, staying in their lane.
Money to more than
Respect.
$56,000 in today's money by the late 60s. People enjoyed paid leave and sick days for the first time. They could pay off student loans, buy houses and cars, and
But Mac, DM me with your idea.
enjoyed a financially stable life. Payroll increased by at least 32% in the 60s alone. Fiber optic cables, LEDs, weather satellites, the heart pacemaker, the internet, DRAM for computers, lasers were all invented in the 60s alone. We landed on the moon. The upper, middle, and lower classes were all moving up together in harmony. But then, 1971 hits, and something really weird happens. The economy kept growing, except there was no longer everyone getting richer together. Now it was only the rich getting richer, and the middle and lower class basically flatlined, to this day.
Even with globalization, even with the computer revolution, the internet revolution, the biotech revolution, it somehow has not added up to quite as much of a difference as people thought. And if you were in the mid-1960s, people thought it was going to be the Jetsons, you're going to have vacation trips on the moon and flying cars and robots doing all your work. And it hasn't quite happened. It's been just much slower.
Right. The only robot that does any work that I'm aware of is the Roomba little carpet sweeper.
There isn't as much progress happening as advertised, and that rather than racing towards utopia or dystopia, the much bigger problem is one of
Hey, I think next stream, I gotta write some of this shit down, but next stream, I think we should talk about aliens. Maybe get some Joe Rogan going.
relative stagnation. It sort of manifests economically, and that for the first time we have a younger generation that's not clearly doing better than
Because that whole technology thing reminded me of that. You're watching Joe Rogan.
parent women.
Family incomes are up, some from the late 60s, but it's not clear that's the right metric because you have a lot of families where both spouses are working, and that's very different from the world of the late 60s. Okay. And
the inflation rate skyrocketed from around 4% at the start of 1971 to more than double at 8.8% in 1973. By the end of the 70s, it would go up to 12%. Household debt exploded exponentially after 1971, so while lower and middle class income stayed stagnant, they were simultaneously getting shackled in debt. College tuition also suspiciously started skyrocketing after 1971.
What happened in 1971?
And ask yourself, how many new, real, physical, truly revolutionary technologies like LEDs or fiber optics have we really seen in the last few decades besides reusable rockets? Not much. Something happened. The rules of the game were changed. It was no longer a level playing field. And the best part is that it slipped right underneath the noses of the middle and lower class. And all the signs point back to this one year, 1971. It was the year that rearranged the very fabric of society as we know it. But to understand what happened, we have to take a journey all the way back to World War I. And if you want some free Bitcoin, you can earn up to $250 in free Bitcoin for funding your account on Blockchain. Make this PY fees now.
But dog, look at the editing on this shit. That shit's nice. I'm gonna have to take some notes post stream. President Hoover, based.
Before World War I hit, trade around the world was conducted on a very simple gold standard. Basically, whatever you wanted from another country, you would pay for in the required weight of gold. This meant that countries that had lots of stuff to export would have more gold than countries who didn't have a lot to export. And before World War I, the system worked pretty well. The governments around the world kinda got along perfectly, which meant trading with gold was simple and easy. But then World War I came around and threw the entire system on its head. The war brought a lot of infighting and disagreements between countries that used to work together. It put a lot of powerful countries in debt. They had to spend a lot of their gold buying weapons and equipment to fight against each other. And gold reserves started being spread around the world much more thinly. By the end of World War I, the US had a serious gold deficit. And once the Great Depression hit, this got even worse. So in 1930, the government pretty much forced Americans to exchange all the gold they had for dollars. They increased the price of gold from $20 an ounce to $35 an ounce, hoping that this would discourage Americans from buying gold in the future. This also meant that a lot of foreign countries suddenly got interested in trading their gold for dollars. Since they would be getting so much more money in exchange for their gold, almost every country that had a natural gold source traded it with the US for dollars. By 1939, there was enough gold in the world to replace all the money in circulation. Then World War II hit, and suddenly, the US was dipping into its gold reserves again. And if they thought World War I took a lot of money, World War II was even worse. The two wars had wrecked the global financial system, and the simple gold standard and government taxes just wasn't enough to fund the crazy spending the US had to do. Something had to change. Enter the Bretton Woods system.
At Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, delegates from 44
No, this is a little bit off topic, but in World War II, we did a lot of war crimes and shit. A lot of massacres and like unwanted interaction, you could say.
Allied and associate countries arrived for the opening of the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference. Invited by President Roosevelt to the first major world financial meeting since the London Conference of 1933, they will work in the seclusion of this White Mountains resort.
At the end of the war, the 40 biggest and most important governments in the world all came together at the Bretton Woods Hotel in New Hampshire to try to find a new financial standard that would be less likely to cause a global bankruptcy. The US had more than 75% of the world's gold, and the dollar was one of the only currencies still linked to the gold standard by then. So the countries agreed they would value their national currencies relative to the dollar's value in gold. It was basically a very indirect version of the gold standard that pinned the value of the dollar at $35 per ounce of gold. All the other countries of the world would adjust the value of their currency according to that. And for a while it worked. The US stockpiled its new gold from countries who wanted to trade in gold for dollars, and the Bretton Woods system became the new way to have a stable currency after a chaotic war. But all things must come to an end, and that end came in the year 1971.
Hell, government.
So by the late 40s and early 50s, the US had a new superpower, the ability to print as much money as it needed for whatever it wanted. It wasn't supposed to work like that. There was supposed to be a methodical decision-making process that kept the amount of dollars in the world equal to the amount of gold the US has stockpiled, but the temptation to print money was just too great. It was like giving a child the keys to a candy shop. Whenever there was a new national development, social program, or massive technological project, the US could just print the money it needed to pay for it. After all, dollars were as good as gold. With all this extra money, the economy obviously boomed, but it wasn't sustainable. By 1955, America went to war in Vietnam.
This is what inflation is.
And suddenly, it needed a lot more money than it had in gold. The Vietnam War carried on for 20 years and cost $168 billion, or around $1 trillion in today's money. To fund it, the government had to print money like crazy, and near the end, this reckless creation of new dollars finally caught up with it. You see, other countries started noticing that the US was printing way more money than it could possibly have in gold. So they got worried. What if the president suddenly announced that instead of $35 for an ounce of gold, it would be now $45 or $50? It would be the perfect way for the US to stay afloat, but it would mean countries like the UK and France would have to pay way more money to get their gold back. So the UK and France decided to quit while they were still ahead, and France sent a warship to New York to pick up their gold. It was 1971, and President Nixon was having none of it. So in one fell swoop, he declared a suspension of anyone's ability to convert dollars into gold.
I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
This short statement would become one of the most pivotal moments in history that hardly anyone knows the importance of. For the first time in modern history, the world's money was no longer tied to anything. For the first time, if you want to take people's wealth, if you want them to work for you as your indentured slaves, no longer did you have to do it at the point of a gun or through taxes, both of which breeds resentment. Now all you had to do was print more money. The more money you printed, the more of their wealth you stole from them without them ever even noticing it before it's too late. Because the dollar amount in the
80% of all US dollars were made in the last 2 years. Think about that. If now is the time to build wealth, get as rich as you possibly can.
Their bank account stays the same, but the value of those dollars goes down. What started in 1971 was the greatest con and wealth redistribution scheme humanity has ever seen. And with it, the Bretton Woods system officially came to an end. The money printer was let loose, and the chaos that resulted was subtle, like boiling a frog. Immediately, the dollar's value dropped at least 50%. All that new money pushed up the prices of assets like real estate and stocks, which the rich own and the poor don't, furthering the divide. What used to take 30 hours of work to buy 1 unit of a publicly traded stock in 1860 would take at least 126 hours of work today. 1971 was also the year that the 30-year mortgage standard was introduced, which meant that where you could have bought a house for just 3 years' salary in 1950, you're in debt for the next 30 years today.
Instant money, M-O-N-E-Y, in the form of a convenient personal loan.
So household debt explodes exponentially, college tuition explodes exponentially, the number of lawyers quadrupled. And what did all that debt and divide mean for middle and low income families? Over half of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even when they make more than $100,000 a year. Most Americans
Don't be like that. Don't live paycheck to paycheck. That's a shitty way to live. If something bad happens, you're fucked. get as rich as you can.
Can save have less than $5,000 in their savings accounts, and the income for the middle and lower classes has stayed nearly the same since 1971, while the upper class continues to climb. The modern pleb is a debt slave draped in louis. And today, we might be witnessing the grand finale of the dollar. Almost a year ago, I made a video on how 40% of US dollars were printed in the year 2020, one of our most popular videos on the channel. Well, today, the Federal Reserve has updated those numbers, and I redid the math. It's no longer 40% of all US dollars were printed since 2020, not 50%, not even 70%. Nope, since January 2020, the US has printed nearly 80% of all US dollars in existence. 80%! M1. I literally had to do a double take when I saw this number, because what? But yes, at the start of 2020, there was $4 trillion in circulation, and in October 2021, there's over $20 trillion in circulation. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that the government has so far robbed 80% of your wealth in the span of under 2 years.
And you wonder why everything's getting more expensive. And you wonder why we are in a recession. People say that we're not in a recession yet. We're approaching a recession. We are in a recession. The U.S. government had to literally change what the definition of recession was. You can look it up. It used to be, I believe, 2 quarters without any improvement. They changed it to 4 so that they could just say that we're not in a recession. We are in a recession as we speak. Either you capitalize on it or you're fucking broke. There is no in between.
And although you may only feel this theft in higher gas prices and such so far, it's probably gonna get a lot worse.
The best way to make money right now is doing that shit online.
So what is the solution? Not financial advice, but 1, don't get into debt. 2, click the join button below for private documentaries too controversial to be released.
And yeah, stay away from debt if you can. Do everything in your power to stay away from debt.
To the public, to continue to learn how the world really works. And 3 is to hedge your bets against the US dollar and the money printer by putting some money into crypto. And one crypto platform I've been using for a while now is BlockFi.
Alright. I think that should be the end of that. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that was a successful stream. It's almost 1 a.m. I believe that was a very successful stream. It will still remain up on my channel, so you can always go check it out again. Or if somebody missed it, they can go check it out as well. I think I'm going to keep doing this. This is very fun. I enjoyed it personally, but unfortunately, it's getting late. I do have shit to do tomorrow, and I gotta take a shit. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all have a good night. Get rich. Companies, governments, they lie to you. And I'll see y'all next time.